So this individual, her name's Leslie. She works at Social Security in Jersey, which is Channel Island between England and France. She is the appointed so-called social worker for my daughter. All right, so she's actually a pawn, an agent that's been positioned by Satan, who serves Satan, to abuse my daughter and try to destroy my family. Here she says, "Hi Ray, are you available for a call in 5 minutes? We can set a day and time to chat." My response, "Hey, when is a good time for yourself? Claire has told me you have told her she has to abuse Sage," that's my daughter, "with alienation. Is this true? That you are intimidating Claire into thinking this form of child abuse is acceptable and even necessary? Or is Claire just lying to try to shift the responsibility of the child abuse onto you and others instead of taking responsibility for the child abuse herself? Alienating a child from a loving parent is strictly child abuse, proven scientifically to be as damaging to a child as molestation or rape. I'd like your full name and employee number, boss's details, etc. Thank you. Just so, if you are encouraging this child abuse of my daughter, I can follow this up with higher-ups, potentially police investigations and media. Cheers." If it is true that you are encouraging this child abuse of Sage, I would first like to offer you the chance to repent and stop encouraging that Sage be abused. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt that you simply weren't aware that parental alienation is a serious form of child abuse. So, as you can see, I'm clearly being very polite and kind. I'm showing love and compassion and understanding. Okay? No rudeness, no harshness. If it is true that you are encouraging this child abuse of my daughter, I would first like to offer you the chance to repent and just stop encouraging that my daughter be abused. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt that you simply weren't aware that this parental alienation you're encouraging and promoting is a serious form of child abuse. So I'm clearly being very polite and understanding. She says in response, "We can discuss over the phone. What is a good time of day for you on Monday UK time?" My response, "I would like you to message me your answer so I can keep a physical record of it. Are you encouraging Claire to abuse Sage with parental alienation? Whatever time is best for you is fine by me. Just let me know." So I'm even being considerate and I'm, respecting her time and her professionalism. And her response is, "It's a complex matter," to a yes-no question. Notice this. I asked a yes-no question. The only answer is either yes or no, unless a person's lying. So I said, are you encouraging Claire to abuse Sage with parental alienation? Simple yes-no question. I just want her to confess and be open and transparent and not try to hide things and cover things up and be deceptive and lie. So her response, "It is a complex matter we can discuss on Monday morning." So she's not denying it. She's not saying no. So this is a confession, an admission through omission. Omission is a form of lying where you just don't tell the truth. Okay? So when you lie, you're either actually telling something that's not true, that's deception. But omission is when you lie by just simply not saying the truth. Even if you just stay silent, don't say anything at all. That's a form of lying through omission, by not telling the truth. So when I ask a yes-no question, are you encouraging Claire to abuse Sage with parental alienation? And she answers, "It is a complex matter we can discuss on Monday morning." Okay? She's making an admission here that, yes, she admits in her own words, here's a confession, so I have physical evidence, her own message from me, okay, admitting that yes, she is encouraging the abuse of my daughter. I go on to say, Claire says she has been abusing Sage because it was your suggestion to alienate us. It's a simple question. It's not complex at all. But you not wanting to tell me if you have been encouraging the child abuse of my daughter or not, when you are supposed to be a professional in a position of care is telling. See, again, have I been rude at all? Have I been aggressive at all? No. I'm being extremely polite, understanding, compassionate, giving her the benefit of the doubt. She says, "Thank you for getting back to me. We can discuss my concerns on Monday. So you aren't denying that you have encouraged the abuse of Sage with alienation. I would like for your full name and employee number and boss's details, Leslie. If you are promoting the child abuse of alienation, it will have to be properly reported, and you shouldn't have anything to hide if you aren't committing the criminal act of promoting child abuse. If it is true that you have encouraged this child abuse, and after reporting it, your boss doesn't take the correct measures to rectify the situation, I will have to just take it higher and also report your boss for colluding in the promotion of child abuse. If I have to take it to the media and High Court, then so be it. At the end of the day, I just want folk to repent and stop abusing my daughter with parental alienation." So again, and have I been rude here at all, or no? I'm being polite and just showing concern and protecting my daughter from child abusers. She says, "You don't need my employee number, Raymond. You have my name and position." So she's not open to sharing her details and being transparent because she knows she's in the wrong, committing a serious crime, promoting child abuse, and she wants to try to hide herself. Somebody who isn't committing child abuse, if you call it, they'll happily, be transparent and public about it. But she wants to hide away. It's not a good sign. She doesn't look good doing this. She says, "You don't need the number. Okay. My manager is Tracy Ingham. We can explain our assessment and professional guidance on Monday." Buzzwords. Don't really mean anything at all. I go on to say, "You don't need to explain anything. Just an admission of if you have encouraged the child abuse or not. And that if you have been encouraging this child abuse, you cease immediately. And that you understand it is on record now that you have been officially warned by the father of Sage that if any promotion of child abuse continues, there will be consequences for you. So, if you continue this crime, obviously there's consequences for being a criminal. Am I being harsh or rude yet? Or mean? Or no, I'm still being very polite and compassionate and calm and respectful." She goes on to reply, "Speak to you on Monday, Ray. As explained, I can tell you the concerns and explain the assessment of this situation." Alright, so I literally said, "You don't need to explain anything." And then she just repeats herself. I go and say, "No, we can speak, but it will only be about how Sage is being abused and if you are encouraging it or not. There is nothing else to explain or discuss, Leslie. Have some respect." I said there is nothing to explain. If you told me you didn't need me to explain something, I would say, "Okay, I respect that." To repeat yourself isn't polite. So, I'm still, myself, being extremely polite, civil, reasonable, and respectful, and I'm actually pointing out and showing the disrespect and rude behaviour that I'm receiving from this so-called professional. I would hope and appreciate if we could be civil with each other. You're admitting here via admission that you have encouraged the child abuse of Sage. But you want to try to explain it, which translates to attempting to justify the child abuse of my daughter, which you admit to encouraging. So as to try to create a false narrative, an image, in which the child abuse you have endorsed and encouraged is somehow the right thing to do. It's not going to work, Leslie. Alienation is a vile form of child abuse, and child abuse can never be justified. Child abuse is always evil. You can write a 1,000,000-word essay on why it's the right thing to do, and still, child abuse can never be justified. It is pure evil. You want to tell me that it's just concern for Sage's well-being, and it's about protecting her. But encouraging the abuse of Sage based on paranoia and thinking it's protective obviously isn't reasonable or acceptable behaviour, no matter how convinced you are by your own explanations on the matter. I showed her this correspondence that I had with the mother of my daughter who is abusing my daughter on the behest and encouragement of these so-called professional child abusers. like Leslie, where I said to her, "I've contacted the child workers to talk to them about how you are abusing Sage. I hope you repent and stop abusing her with alienation because it's scientifically proven to be as bad and harmful as molestation or rape of a child." She says, "Yeah, speak to the social workers as I am only following their instructions." So here you can see Claire in correspondence to me, the mother of my daughter, saying, yes, she's abusing our daughter because that's what she was told to do by these social workers. Here is the evidence of Claire telling me she is only abusing Sage because you have told her she should, and we both know she is intimidated by you and scared to question your advice, even if it is to abuse our daughter with scientifically studied and proven child abuse. Now, as I say here, countless studies, etc. Here are some screenshots of official professional scientific journals and studies proving that the parental alienation you are encouraging and intimidating Claire to commit is severe and damaging child abuse. She tries to be smart in response and say, may I suggest you research articles on parental alienation versus protective parenting? Speak to you on Monday. No, Leslie, I'm not talking about articles. We're not talking about news articles, hit pieces, people's opinions, okay? So it doesn't matter. You don't research people's opinions. That's not research. Reading an article is not research. I just provided scientific journals, professional scientific journals and studies. Not articles, not people's opinions, scientific facts of the evidence that this parental alienation is severe child abuse, as damaging as the molestation or rape of a child. And this is what Leslie wants to promote. So my response, don't be patronising about promoting child abuse. Again, nothing can justify the child abuse you're encouraging, Leslie. If you even attempt to justify this child abuse, it will only expose yourself as a promoter of child abuse who thinks she can justify the abuse. Like a child molester who is trying to explain why it's the right thing to molest children. No matter what you say or think, you are promoting evil and wicked child abuse. You will stop or face consequences. So, again, let's do a recheck or recount, check our receipts here. Have I been rude at all yet? Have I been hostile or aggressive, or have I showed any lack of respect or compassion? No, I'm being completely civil, respectful. You have admitted you are promoting child abuse, Leslie. Just repent and stop now. Don't ignorantly think you can justify the child abuse of alienation of an innocent child from a loving parent, whom you have also said on record you believe is safe to be around, Sage. So we have on record, I've had meetings with this social worker and have on record her admission that anything bad about me that's been said has actually been proven and exposed to be lies and deceptions, and she has on record her own position and stance saying that she thinks that I'm perfectly reasonable and perfectly safe. But she's been obviously influenced by others now to change her tone and to get in line. Okay? And I can request the notes from our meeting where you said yourself I am of no threat or danger. So I have evidence of you claiming it's fine for me and Sage to have contact, and evidence of you admitting to promoting the child abuse of Sage based on paranoia, which contradicts your own recorded claims. At the end of the day, Leslie, I'm just warning you. You will stop this promotion of child abuse, or you will wish you did, and you will suffer greatly. Because God obviously doesn't let sinners and people, especially child abusers, get away with their crime. There will be justice. Everyone will have to face judgment before God. So, if she keeps continuing the child abuse and promotion of it, she will greatly suffer. I pray you find the wisdom to repent and stop this disgusting promotion of child abuse. Again, more compassion, more love. I'm just being compassionate and loving and respectful. You are promoting the criminal act of child abuse, and you have admitted it here, Leslie. Come up with as many justifications as you want. You've already admitted to your promotion of the criminal act of abuse against my daughter and have been reported for doing so. This is an official legal disclaimer and warning that if you do not cease this promotion of child abuse, you are willfully breaking the law and abusing my daughter even after being made aware and confessing to your crime. You are no longer allowed near Sage. She can have a new caseworker allocated or none at all. But you are not to have anything to do with my daughter ever again. Do you understand? So again, completely civil, just as a father laying down simple, respectful boundaries saying, you aren't allowed near my daughter, okay? I'm sorry, you're a grown lady who is abusing my daughter, admits, I've got your messages here, you're admitting to the abuse of my daughter, so I don't want you near my daughter, thank you, have a beautiful life. I'm being very respectful and polite. And her response? Please stop with this, Ray. This is the very behaviour that has informed my updated assessment and view. Threats and intimidation are not a healthy way forward or good example for a child, and need to stop toward myself and Claire. You do, of course, have... So apparently me just asking them not to abuse my daughter is threats. And... okay. You do, of course, have the right to make an official complaint through the proper channels so a formal investigation into the matter occurs. I will speak to you on Monday as arranged and respectfully request these messages now stop and that we have our discussion into the matter then as arranged. So I respond, I'm telling you to stop promoting the abuse of my daughter. I'm being polite. You're admitting that you think it's justified to abuse Sage because I'm a loving parent, opposed to the abuse of my daughter. You just made the admission yourself in your own words that this is the behaviour you think justifies the abuse of Sage. Me telling you politely not to abuse Sage, which is evident here in my messages, or evident in my messages here. So as we just went through the entire conversation, and we saw, I have been completely respectful, completely compassionate, understanding, giving the benefit of the doubt, civil, and all I have done is just asked, is it true that you've encouraged the abuse of my daughter? And then Leslie saying, yes, she has, but she wants to explain and try to justify why she's encouraged the abuse of my daughter. And then me just saying, well, if that's the case, you've admitted now you are abusing my daughter. You're not allowed near my daughter. Stop abusing my daughter. Thank you. I hope you repent so that you don't get punished by God, because what you're doing is very wicked and evil, and you will suffer punishment from God if you don't repent. So I even care about your well-being and your soul. I don't want you to be punished for this child abuse. I want you to repent and seek redemption and be forgiven by God. So I'm being extremely polite and compassionate. I'm acting like a saint. I'm being Christ-like, even though she's admitted here to abusing my daughter. So I shared this video that I made, which I go over. It's a short, nice little video, which it just explains how quite often people can, with lack of understanding, right, mistake holy or divine love, like obviously is quite clear here in this conversation, as being harsh or aggressive or judgmental. And what it really is it's just that they have been convicted because they've been made aware of their sin and wickedness and evil. Okay, so it's like now Leslie has to accept, and she's even confessed herself that yes, she is abusing my daughter and promoting the child abuse of my daughter. And I'm asking her politely to just stop abusing my daughter. So now she's convicted. She feels bad about herself because she is now aware and it's evident, and she's again confessed herself, yes, that she is abusing my daughter. And now she feels bad about herself, so she blames me because she feels bad for being a child abuser. Instead of just accepting and taking accountability that she's a child abuser, feel bad about it, repent, be forgiven by God, and stop being a child abuser. It's really simple. The conversation continues on. I share her these. She hasn't seen it yet, but I'm sure she will soon. Over the next hour. We're supposed to be having this meeting, this phone call, in an hour. So I share her these emails that I have sent to the mother of my daughter. You are the one alienating us, Claire, not me. Because Claire, the mother of my daughter, emailed me trying to blame me for the fact that her and these social workers, etc., like Leslie, are abusing my daughter. And Claire's saying that, oh, she's depressed and she's upset and our daughter's depressed and suffering and and it's all my fault, apparently. So I just responded to her and I've shown Leslie this email. You are the one alienating us, Claire, not me. You are killing Sage and yourself. You are responsible for Sage's suffering and your own because you won't have regular calls. You will continue to suffer more and more and be more depressed, and Sage will also suffer more and die inside because you are slowly killing her with alienation from a loving parent. And you, Leslie, are a child abuser. If you don't correct Claire and encourage her to have regular calls for me and Sage, Sage will die inside and be traumatized for life. You are a child abuser, Leslie.